motions. Who made them? Sorry.
Who made Joe Chairman? I'm sorry.
Well, I guess there's a correction mark pointing out. The date of that meeting was March 13th, 2024.
Jeff, you caught that, didn't you?
No, mark on it.
And I'm all going. Okay, Ms. Jennifer?
Yes, sir. So just a couple of updates for the board this morning. So we talked about the groundbreaking that we had for Project Harvest, which is AgriLiquid. I do have the video. She'll just walk away, so we'll get back to that in a second. So we've got a couple of videos to share with you this morning. One's the groundbreaking video from that. Next update I'm going to give you, Project Bula. This is a synthetic, graphite company that we've been working with. The last conversation we had here in this meeting, and just wanted to let you know that they've delayed their process a bit based on some things that are moving in the federal funding. They're one of their top sites that they're, reviewing and have, I think 3 sites that have made the third cut. So we're kind of on hold, but on a temporary basis, still moving forward. This is the about 400 employees, 250 acres or so. This is a mega site project because it is a heavy rail served company. So I just wanted to let the board know that this project has not gone away. It's just paused for the moment. But they are staying in communication on a weekly basis, which is positive for us. The other update on here, Project Garfield. This is a visit we had 3 weeks ago now, and a company brought to us that produces semiconductor modules. They're looking in Florida, they're looking in Texas, and they really like the site. So I've gotten feedback from the group that brought them down to visit. And we didn't even really make it out to the location. They just like Lake City. They like Columbia County. They like the team that was here to welcome them. So we're in definite consideration for this project as they go through their process. They have a board meeting scheduled this month and would make their decision on when they move forward there. So more to come on that.
And Garfield, what was amazing about that review, when they got ready to leave, they said, we really like what you guys done. You made us feel like home. It wasn't a dog and pony show. They fell in love with Columbia County. And hopefully they want to be here, but they are the ones that don't make the decision. They have a board and they just going to relay back to them what they found in the 3 sites that they visited. So it was a very positive presentation that we all put on that was here that afternoon.
It was a good conversation with them. And it just goes to show that we're not the same communities as everyone else. They visited 2 other places prior to coming to us that day. And instead of just having everyone in the room, we kept it to just the bare minimum, because we didn't know a lot about the project.
Yeah.
To be honest, didn't know their requirements as far as utilities, acreage, anything like that. So it really was. And when we talked about Economic Development Week on Monday, I gave a glimpse into what we do on a day-to-day basis and the process of attracting a company here. And talked about the fact that a lot of times we're going on a blind date the very first time we meet these companies. They don't know us. We don't know them. We don't know very much about them to start. So instead of bringing my entire extended family to this blind date the first time, we just brought the closest, right? The people who are my squad that really looks out after the interest of the family, right? So, and that paid off. They really had an opportunity to get to know us, to get to know the community. And it was a very short visit. So we had to pack a lot into a very small time frame. And at the end of the day, they walked away knowing exactly what they would get when they came here.
And the company that we had prior to those, that company, we always learn something that what we need to add to this board. To the when a company come in, we know exactly now how many individuals need to be here and what part of Lake City, Columbia County they operate. And it's very important now that we found out that we got to have someone here from the school board and talk about and answer questions about the education system in Columbia County. Because the last time one we had here, there was question actually we could not answer, but we made a note of that. So another time that we have a client in town, there definitely will be someone from the school system to answer no question that company have about Columbia County school system. And this company was that was one of the main things that they wanted to know. But their employees that they bring, if they locate here, about school system, they were satisfied with everything else, but there was some question about the school system. We just could not answer. So it's going to be important that we have that person on board when we entertain a company.
So going back to AgriLiquid, before we watch the video, just wanted to add in now they're finalizing, so you know where they're at in their process. They are finalizing their building plans now, getting ready to submit those for permit approval through the county. Getting ready to start earthwork. I'd say in the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing some dirt being cleared out there. So they're moving right along and excited to get going. Michelle, you ready for videos? All right, so the first is the groundbreaking video from Project Harvest that we held back in March on National Agriculture Day. Oh, that's exciting without the cheesy music. Do you like the cheesy music? Very loud if I try to. We're sure the music would interfere with the recording. You can see it was windy that day. So, tentative date for next groundbreaking. We had mentioned that we're going to do a significantly larger, what I'm calling grand opening of the industrial park. Will be right now. We're looking at October 3rd. We haven't confirmed that, but that's a tentative date. So you can pencil that in once we get a couple of commitments from some electeds, specifically Senator Scott, since he was, critical and the reason why we got the Florida Jobs Growth Grants for both the wastewater plant and the rail spur. As soon as we can get commitment from his office that he can attend, we're going to lock that afternoon down. In addition to that, it's also farm to table for the county, and this is an event that we've done several years now. It's been very successful, so we're going to kind of include those on the same day to get more elected officials here for that, both state and federal. So pencil that in, and we'll confirm that as we get the word back from our elected officials. Yes.
David, you want to give a update on the sewer treatment plant at the Megaton?
Okay. Should have brought videos of that. We do have aerial photos if anybody's interested. It's moving along great. It should be finished by Q2 of next year. It's just right now. It's just right on track. Morton Smith has been doing an excellent job as our construction manager, and it's ready to open. Our biggest issue is Steve and I are working on some issues with water and sewer in terms of getting it to the plant, from the plant. And Steve, we hope to have that resolved fairly soon.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have to just say that the city is committed to doing what we can to make sure the project.
we're in a win-win situation with having the city on board, on the, water. When this site is developed, we will have water from the city and from the county. Have, sewer in places where the city can provide sewer in places where the county do not. So it's a good work relationship, in the long run, it would benefit that whole site completely.
Steve's been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
And really, it's down to the attorneys.
yeah.
As it always.
And basically what we would, hopefully, the agreement is saying that at a certain point, the city will run their water lines, we'll put a master meter there, and then we will pay the city for their water. It do not come off our cup and it does not come off. It's a win-win situation in our situation. That master meter is there, then we run the lines where we need to, from that master meter.
And we met with the district about this project and they were very cooperative. They sent us in writing how we're going to have to modify the city's permit, county's permit to make that purchase of water against our cup from the city. And they had no issues with it.
All right, so the next item under discussions or director report, economic development week. So last week, the entire week was dedicated to economic development. Great partnership with the chamber, and the entire week was just a success. We started on Monday with breakfast at the Blanche, and great turnout even for 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. Like I mentioned earlier, I gave kind of an overview of the process of attracting a company and why we do it. The impact that one industry or manufacturing facility has on our overall tax base, in relation to, how many houses it would take, or just understanding the impact that it has and the significant tax increase that they paid. So went through that process of kind of how we attract businesses, how we know who to have in the room, that kind of thing. So had that on Monday, good turnout, and I was really encouraged by the public participation. So on Monday, we wanted it open to the public. So if anyone had any questions about the process, that it was an open door and a transparent, communication. Tuesday, we had a site visit out at Warner Industries or Warner Trucking out on Bell Road, and they gave a tour of the facility. People got to get in the trucks and saw the simulators that they have upstairs. Did anyone drive a simulator in this van? Did you drive?
I did not. Nisha did. And Nisha actually drove a truck for about an hour.
An actual truck?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. He had a great time.
So a lot of participation there. Wednesday, we did the medical center, Lake City Hospital. And if you've not had an opportunity to see the improvements that they're doing, it's just fantastic. It's amazing. And they really just kind of opened their doors and their questions. So if we had any, they were very open with information. Gave us a guided tour of the facilities and kind of laid out what it's going to look like and the improvements that they're doing. Not just the capital improvements, but also internally with staff and their processes and how they're training their people and some of the community events that they're getting involved in. So it's a side of the hospital that we don't often see, and I appreciated it significantly. Then on Thursday, we had an opportunity to tour Robbins Manufacturing, and Jeff, actually, you toured that one. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I mean, the improvements they're making out there compared to how it used to be is phenomenal. It really is. It's a great opportunity for this county to have that here.
Yeah,
That's one of the projects you guys gave incentives to.
Yeah. Because they're shipping product all the way up, they're shipping all the way up the north, all the way up the east coast. Primarily pilings for docks and.
marine pilings. Interesting thing is right now, they're bringing logs in, they're debarking them, cleaning them, cutting them here, but they're shipping them back to their Tarrytown facility to treat. And after they dry them, they ship them back down there to treat. So what we were able to do with the tax abatement was give them the flexibility to build a treatment facility here. So they're under construction now. And they're anticipating that to increase their productivity significantly. They're not taking the business away from the other site. They're just going to add to it. And right now it's, keeping feedstock. So it is as fast as they can bring logs in, they can get them done. So it's a really neat facility. It's a great group out there, and they're really investing in their people and their community too. So really happy to have them on board. Joey, anything else you want to add about it?
What did you say about Friday?
Oh, I didn't. So we did wrap up on Friday. I'll let you take Friday.
Yeah, so Friday was the wrap up to the entire week, and we had Kevin Shealy, who is the president and CEO of the Ocala Chamber Economic Partnership out of Ocala, come and give a talk on how Ocala has grown over the last 20 years. And they say develop rural, let's stay rural. I've got nothing but great feedback. I can tell you, obviously, as the chamber, we have members who are in other chambers and other communities. We had a statewide bank president who was there, and her comment to me was, I'm in a lot of chambers and a lot of communities, and this is by far the most collaborative community when it comes to economic development and the chamber. There is no competition. Everybody's working towards the same goal, and the passion is palpable. So that's always good to hear when there are people who are in other communities dealing with the same issues throughout the state.
And we had a very nice turnout there. I'd say what, 85?
It's like right at 90.
Oh, so we did have 90, even with the bad weather that came in. Did affect some, but the rest that braved the weather, really good event. Kind of set the stage and talked about some of the projects that are happening at the different interchanges, different areas of the county. Introduced the staff to the public, making sure that everyone was aware of Van's role going forward is focusing on business retention and expansion. So she's really going to start having a hands-on approach with the businesses and the companies that were in that room that day, and Stash being both in-house lobbyist and our policy guy, working behind the scenes to get things in place to make these projects happen. So just wanted to put that out there. Also show some snippets of what our new website's going to look like, and that's coming very, very soon. So,
And a lot of people have asked myself and Jennifer, what was the point of Economic Development Week? And of course, it is to show that Columbia County is a pro-business community. A lot of your larger industries, I can tell you, the first thing they do is just Google the town they're looking at. And these sort of things trickle out of, wow, Columbia County kind of run out the red carpet for these bigger industries. That's who we want to do business with. And I think that's what will happen as we continue to grow into Economic Development Week, and it continues to get bigger and bigger as the years progress.
yeah. To that point, I would say if you are on LinkedIn and you use social media, repost these things from both the chamber and our department when you see those online. Because to Joey's point, the more that gets out there and the more that the companies and the site selectors and the industry see our approach and how we work together as a community, that it just shines a better light on what we do here. It gives them a better look at Columbia County and Lake City. That this is who we are on a day-to-day basis, not just when they show up for our first date.
Jennifer, one of the great takeaways for me from that presentation was too, you've got to appreciate and take care of the businesses that are already in your community, not just cater to the new businesses coming in.
Exactly.
That was one of the bigger takeaways I got out of the presentation too.
Yeah, Kevin from Ocala hit one of his points to comment on Commissioner Horn's point. It seems like a lot of your companies, after they meet with you and meet with your elected officials, just like whether they're telling you this or not, they are quietly calling the companies in your town to say, hey, Target, you've been there for 20 years. What's it like being in Columbia County? Are they easy to work with? And the importance of investing in those long-time community partners.
One other thing I'd like to add is we had max capacity all week long. So our site tours, registration topped off very quickly. So there was a lot of interest in the community, a lot of interest from everyone in each activity throughout the week. So as we go forward, this will just get bigger and better. So I'm looking forward to next year already.
We're gonna do a quick update on Ellisville. Bring this board up. For 15 years, I've been saying that Ellisville is going to be the next US 90 in Columbia County, and it's fastly becoming that. We have a great working partner with DOT, with B&B company. They they caught us by surprise when they wanted to build that super truck stop in Ellisville. We have been putting on little package plants as we needed to, but this board have applied for a $54 million grant to build a new sewer treatment plant in Ellisville. We have a backup plan. If we don't get the grant, we're gonna take out a loan to do that because if we don't, Ellisville will shut down. Now it's just exploding. And it's a great opportunity for Columbia County. We have the mega site, we have Bell Road, and then we have Ellisville. And it's a great opportunity for Columbia County to continue to grow. But it might not be in my lifetime. For some of you younger folks in here, you'll see what I'm talking about Ellisville. It is a tremendous opportunity for Columbia County. And DOT is going to spend a lot of money down there to get traffic off and on the Ellisville. It's an area now with concerns with traffic, with all the trucks and all, but DOT is addressing that. And we're just proud to have them as a partner. David, you want to add to?
No, I mean, you'll see Thursday night, I think they're going to talk about it, maybe vote on some things to get this moving forward. It's been difficult to try and put all the pieces together, but it's going to require a large investment, but it will definitely pay for itself. Right now, you have 3 truck stops in Ellisville, adding the super truck stop there, additional truck parking. This is going to be the place all the truckers will stop. It'll be a transportation hub.
Any questions from anyone? Any comments? Yes.
I have 2 other videos.
Okay.
Just real quick, we do have the wrap-up video from Friday's luncheon, so we could share that. So that one's next. This is, again, just the Friday lunch that we had that wrapped up Economic Development Week. One of the things, you'll notice the picture that they showed with me taking a picture. Linda Moses donated a custom work of art. It was a picture of wrap bot. Just a quick look at Friday's wrap up. And then one other video I wanted to share with you. If you've been out 90 East in the last week or two, you may have noticed there are rail cars on the rail spur on both sides of 90. You can go ahead and open that up, Michelle. There is no audio in this one, but the railroad has these rail cars that have been sitting on the rail behind U.S. cold storage. And there were some folks in the neighborhood that were complaining about the noise because they are loud. There's generators, they're freezer cars. So the rail asked if they could store those temporarily on the spur. So we have our first rail cars on our rail spur on both sides of 90. I just wanted to share that with the board this morning. It's a beautiful sight to see.
We figure, one, it shows that Florida Gulf and Atlantic will be operating rail in our industrial park, on our rail spur, on our rail lines. And it also shows any clients that come in visually, yes, rail is real.
And just a note while you're looking at this, Florida Gulf and Atlantic has rebranded themselves. So they're now Pinsley Rail, so Pinsly. It's one of the companies that they've been affiliated with. It's part of their portfolio. They've just decided to move away from the Florida Gulf and Atlantic to get away from the old branding and take on an older, more tenured and more known name in the rail industry. So that was one of their holdings, has been for quite some time. They just decided to make that their starship. So they're now going to be known as Tinsley Rail. Same new team that we've been working with, great people and great partners as we go through this project. So, and one other thing I did want to share, it's just an update from us that's come over the last day or so. We talk about all the sites that we have available and the fact that we can, market the industrial park as well as 4775 and Ellisville and Bell Road, because they all lend themselves to different sectors, right? They all have different aspects that companies look for. One thing I wanted to add is we'll soon have another significant site that is ready, if you will. So last year we had about just shy of 800 acres that we were trying to get into the FPL Florida First Sites program. It was very competitive last year. We weren't quite there because there were some things like the zoning and things like that weren't in place that didn't make us quite as competitive for that process. I got word just recently that they've accepted that site into the program this year. So we've got just shy of 800 acres just south of I-10 in the northern end of the county in the Bell Road area, west of 41. So there's a couple of different property owners in there that have all said they would like to develop their acreage, and it's contiguous, so it gives us one big area to work on. So what the Florida First Sites program does is go through the whole readiness. They'll do phase one, they'll do some marketing, they'll do geotech work and have all of that available. So when companies start looking, they go online, it's part of the strategic site inventory in the state, and they can see the level of work that's been done. So it'll start putting some of those check marks in that site selectors look for. Have they determined what their wetlands are? They delineated those. They've done their environmental reviews. So when they go looking for land and they see this, they'll have that there. This is part of that property that's included in the DUDA expansion that we just went through. So that's the reason why they pulled it into the program this year. It's a little further along, still has some things that need to be done. So it gives FPL's folks some time to and something to work with to get that site ready too. So I'll keep you posted as we go along. We're going to go through the process just like it is a company looking at a site. They're going to send a team down. We'll do a site visit, sit down and talk about the details of the county and the site, how they work together. So I'll keep the board informed as we go through this process. But I'm excited that we're part of it and this year, and hopefully going forward we can submit other sites too. So this will just excel the readiness there. And that's all I have to share.
Can you give us an update on the status and timing of the Bell Road 41 interchange? It's going to go.
The extension,
Yes.
pending the governor right now. So we're waiting on waiting on the budget to get approved. So as of right now, there's 1.5 million allocated in the budget for the extension of Bell Street across 25A straight to 41. We're about, I think, 30% done on the plan. So, we'll complete the plans and then start the process. But at this point, we're just waiting on the budget.
So once that new train, that rail crossing occurs there, the one existing at the end of 25A where it comes into port, that one would be closed?
Yeah, that'll be closed.
Yeah.
And when we extend Bell Road, we'll allow for city utilities.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they end at Bell Street 25A. This give us the opportunity to punch through and bring them over to 41.
And the property that Jennifer was speaking of, when we speak of the Bell Road corridor, we still call it Bell Road. That does not mean just the property on Bell Road. We speak of the property that's would be west of 25A or 41. The county have worked with the property owners, and we are changing and defining what can go in that area, what we call a DUDA. We have approved that, and the county planner said that he got to bring it back before the board for something. But once we approve it, we send it to Tallahassee, and then Tallahassee signs off on it. we are doing the same thing on the south end. The University of Florida State University is handling that part on the south end of the county. So we're not just sitting here waiting for something to come to develop land to be used for economic development. We're doing that. We're being very proactive. And we know that we need land south of Columbia, in the Columbia County. So we're going to do a doodle down there. And it would be a mixed use property when we redefine our land use under what we call a doodle.
And we know both I-10 interchanges are going to grow. There's already plans for additional businesses and trucking facilities on both exits.
All right, yes, sir.
Is the medical facility still?
Yes, so they were actually scheduled to close on the property this week. I think that was supposed to have happened maybe today, as a matter of fact. So as soon as they close, then they'll continue. I don't know, you got any updates from your end on them?
I think a lot of it was permitting.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the permitting.
It's amazing when you go through that through the years and the questions that a company asks, and the quality of life is top of the list almost. And then the permitting process. When we tell them that we'll make sure that you get processed, get all your permits and all, and it's hard for them to believe that, really you guys will do that way. And that's where you have your companies that have already the Robertsons and other companies, targets that they can go to and say, tell me about Columbia County. So that's where the Chamber of Commerce pays a tremendous job that we need for them to take care of companies when to come here. Because when they can go to Target or somewhere else and they got a good report about Columbia County and Lake City, that is a feather in our cap. And that's why it's so important that we have really a good network between economic development and the Chamber of Commerce. They're the guys that look out for the company once they get here. And we're
Chamber that you're talking about was closing maybe this week.
That's the Clear Sky Neurological Rehabilitation Hospital.
Off of Real Road. There's a lot of interest right now on Real Road.
And we don't want to forget about 47 and 75. That's been a long, that's been a longer deal, but I think we're getting there. The city's getting there with what they need to do for putting utilities there, and we're just waiting for that to happen. So 47 and 75 is also a future hotspot.
Yes, sir. We got an update, Mr. Chair, on that one. We're supposed to have plans on June the 4th for that, the last part of the Casey Jones campground. And that's the DEP grant. So as soon as we get those plans, we expect that to expedite that process quite a bit.
Great. Anything else?
Just a question, what's the status or what's the plan for Bascom Norris between, say, 90 and 47 down there through where the ball fields are? Is it going to be widened to add a third lane, fourth lane?
It's being repaved. Within the next 10 years, they're going to have to. That was one of the things that the board talked about, a meeting or two ago, where they approved this new permitting process. Because we're trying to make sure the taxpayers don't have to pay for development. But right now, there's enough capacity. But within 10 years, it'll exceed its capacity and have to be widened. That's a difficult process because there's not a lot of right-of-way through there.
And it's all of that on if you have a building and you're on DOT property, you pay for all the improvement, the turn lanes, all that, you pay for it. And we are at this board, our board is at the point that where we see all this development is coming and it's gonna have an impact on the road system, we as taxpayers shouldn't pay for my business, open a new business, you have to pay for the infrastructure. So that's the reason that we're looking at this. To make sure that, we don't have to pay for it and we do not tie up our traffic on these roads.
So they adopted an ordinance that became effective the first of this month. Whereas if you're going to tie into a street, you now have to get a permit. Permit then would include if you have to get traffic studies and what all, depending on the specific situation. Additionally, they approved that the old impact fees that the county had prior to the recession in 2008
2008.
will kick off again October 1st. So starting October 1st, we're going to start charging impact fees again. Same rates we did back in 2007. And then they'll conduct a study to see what the rates should be. That's something the board's been working on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not fair to the taxpayers to pay for development.
Anything else? 2 minute comments, anyone, 2 minutes? Okay, we thank you all for coming, and I'll take a motion for adjournment. We adjourn.